Hello again. I'm just doing another update on the V8 pilot here. Just got a little bit here about some of the companies that worked on the Haas Pass. Yeah, the Gravemouth construction company. It's a Commonwealth Construction. One of the companies that played a small part in the work on the road was the Commonwealth Construction. However, it was probably best remembered not for the work it did, but how it got its bulldozer onto the job. Commonwealth Construction put a tender in for about $16,602.22 in 1953, and best coming for the Highway Bluff contract. They were taking a gamble at the price could have been up to $8,000 below the Ministry of Works estimate. So they put a price in, and so did the Commonwealth. And so they put a lower price in to actually get the contract. The company was Reefton-based. Three directors: there's Bill Blair, there's Ray Smith, and Murray Hutley. The problem was how to get the 23-ton 2U D8 dozer down to the Haas. Cunningham had a small D4, was obviously lighter and smaller, so it had been reasonably straightforward. Although it then required stripping down a bit, it was a little bit heavy for the truck. After deciding that the method was difficult, the company would come up with a plan, which they thought would also be the cheapest, to take it overland to a Puanoa, to Pua Grande, in those far off, less bureaucracy, less environmentalist. The tractor was sent by rail from Reefton to Ross, where it arrived on the 12th of January 1954. From there, it was loaded onto a Western Transport ex-Army tank transporter, pulled by the International D46 truck, driven by Darcy Griffin. At a number of the bridges heading south, it had to be unloaded and driven through the creek or the river and reloaded. A six-wheeler Ford Thornton V8 followed, carting the blade, the canopy and winch, sledge and fuel. The sledge, 3.6 meters long, with a wide 2.4 meters wide. It was designed to cart drums of diesel spare parts, lashes, cross carts, saws, axes, supplies behind the tractor. They took no chainsaws with them. Unloading the reasonably the dozer at the Pua Grande. They packed the sledge, and Smith, Hartley, and Stoney head off into the unknown. Having done no priority recondition, It was Saturday, the 16th of January, in 2 weeks. They would be on the job at the house. Yeah, right. 2 weeks to get there, driving through the bush. The first few kilometres down the cattle track was easy going. Murray Hartley tramped on ahead. Recognising the route, making a way down, making a track down, marking the track as they drove the dozer down. Early on, he realised some of the difficulties. There was dense bush, there was some high ridges and deep gullies and lack of line of sight. So in the Haas Pass area, you had a lot of bush country and a lot of quite cliffy along there. Cooking their evening meals over an open fire with a tarpaulin from the sledge slung up as a makeshift shelter, they received a first day effort. Although progress had been good, inspection on the grouser plates of the dozer track show they had been knocked about on the solid rock they had encountered in the place. Curious locals like Martin Condell followed their progress on horseback. It was some distance. The following day, good progress continued to be made. Small trees and scrubs were no match for the dozer 4-metre blade, but these, over half a metre thick, required some seriously work, cutting the roots and then pushing them with the blade or using the winch to pull them out of the way. For travelling on slippery ridges, progress slowed, making a mat of saplings, branches and scrubs, and the dozer inched forward. The real work had begun. A couple of days later, they crossed the Blue Manukau River near the head of the Lake Marikari and stayed in the hut. But there was some more concern about the deterioration conditions of the dozer grouser plates. Although they had followed the general direction of the Pangaroa Haas track, the trio realised there was need to divert from it, since progress through one of those two narrow sections, including the slippery face, which had required extensive blasting. So the 6th day, the trio headed along the south side of Lake Manukau. It was 3 days slow going around the lake. Mosquitoes were a constant hassle. Not conducting a good night's sleep after a hard day's work at the other end of the lake at night. It was spent in another hut. Hartley tramped back to Pongo to raise an airdrop of replacement grousers and the purchase of more supplies. A bit wobbly here. I'm just doing a couple of updates on the repairs. I've done repair on the V8 pilot guard here. I've got a patch over this side here I've been working on. And I've been working on the other side over here. I put a patch on there, and I put a bit of wire. They have their wire at the bottom there, and then it gets folded over. This one here it gave me a little bit of trouble. A little bit of trouble with the wire bending over, but I eventually got it. So that's what I've been doing anyway. A little patch on there. It's not as easy as what you think it is. Put that up there, I had to use hammers and banged around a bit to get it to shaped up. Okay. I'll just show you some of the tools I've been using. I've got this old digger hook. It's got a bit of a round on it, and that helped me to get the shape. So I got this piece of steel, and I got some of the panel work, and I just bent it around that type of shape there. And I used that blue pipe, and I bent some of it around the blue pipe there. So that's how I've done some of it, get the shaping. And I just showed you here some of my tools I've been using. I've got a hammer here, and I've got a rubber hammer, and I've just made this tool here. This is to de-shrink it, a de-shrinker or something, yeah, that's what you call it. So I made that there. It's got a two-prong thing in it, and I had to use it to get some shape, because I was bashing away there, and it wouldn't turn into shape until I actually had to shrink it with the shrinking tool there. So I just show some of the tools I've been using on shaping some of this here up. So that's what I've been doing. Little patch in there, and a little patch in there. I'll show you a little bit down here. This is my next job. I have to, might be a bit dark. I've got to redo this guard here, which is not going to be a 5-minute job. I have to redesign this guard right down here, right down there to the end there. I've got to make a progress and making that down. That's not a it's not a 5-minute job anyway, so that's going to be a little bit challenging to put that up there and up through the guard there. Okay, just walking along here, and I got an update on this V8 pilot motor. I've got the old V8 pilot, it's all unseized. I've got oil around the cylinders there, or around the cylinders, around the bore. So that's all unseized, that V8 pilot motor. And all the pistons have been cleaned up, and all the rings have been taken off. Okay, and over here is the price of the rings. It's going to cost a lot to get this old V8 pilot going. The ring's about $850, and the big end's about $793, and the mains are $632, and the gaskets $580. Spark plugs are $25 each, which would be 8 spark plugs would be $200. And it looks about $3,055. This is for the flathead. And this is ex-America, so I just went to one place and this is the price he gave me. Everything has to come from America. I'm hoping to get, I might get it cheaper if it comes from the UK, I don't know. So I'll just leave it there for a minute. looking at the old pilot motor. I have to move a few things around. Okay, we're sort of moving down a little bit. I sort of made a bit of English, a kiwi wheel. Kiwi made, it's one of those, I made it up, it's it has a horseshoe handle on it, and it's got a bit of a scaffold, adjustable on it, and it's got an old rubber wheel from an old carriage from off the railway, a railway station trolley. I had an old railway station trolley which they used to put your suitcases on and put your suitcases on it and wheel it to the train. And I've got an old, and I made up an old bearing at the back there to shape the tin. And I've made it out of an old Land Rover. It's a Land Rover ball, a towing ball. I've just cut that out. I've just cut that tow ball off and drilled a hole through the centre of it, and to make the kiwi wheel. Yep, it's got a Land Rover wheel on it at the back to stabilise it. And it's got a Land Rover diff. It's got an old Land Rover diff, and I just got a piece of Land Rover bar that comes off the chassis of the Land Rover, and I just put it on. I just welded onto the diff. So a lot of it's Land Rover anyway, and it's an old Land Rover diff from one of those old army Land Rovers. It has a Series 2 axle in there. I've got a Series 2 axle in there, and I've got a Series 2 spline that goes through the axle. This is at the front of an old Series 2. So I've got the spline and the axle in there, and that's how I made it. I call it the Kiwi made wheel. The Kiwi's got a little wheel underneath it, and he's wheeling it. Just sort of set that up a bit. That's me. And I just sort of demonstrate a little bit. I've got a flat piece of tin here. I'm going to give it a go. And it's sort of starting to shape, and I just put the old horseshoe down a bit, give it a bit more tension. So just it works good enough for me. I've got a couple of sharp corners to do onto the on the V8 pilot anyway, so this should be plenty for what I want to do. So I just sort of wheel along there, put a bit more weight on it on the old horseshoe. Put a bit of weight on it. That's the way how we do it back in New Zealand. The old horseshoe comes handy. It just puts a little bit of pressure up there when I need a little bit of pressure. And it just comes down here. Just pot along like this and I'll get me shape what I want. The old, the kiwi wheel. Yeah, so we can make things, and a lot of people can adapt. So this is only an old Land Rover disc made into this. We could probably make a pipe out of it. So there it is. I just demonstrated it does work. It got round and round. I release the old pressure on the horseshoe. It was an old Clydesdale horseshoe. Okay, I'm gonna sign off here now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching anyway. If you put a thumbs up and a like, that'll be cool. Okay, thanks very much. Right, bye.